Hi, this is Kobe. Kobe is a storytime plush tale. He plays 5 of my original children's stories. He plays soothing music and he is able to play your own personal stories, songs, and messages. Let's hear Kobe play a few of the stories. First, press Kobe's foot and turn him on.
Hello.
When he first comes on, he starts out playing soothing music. But press his right ear and he will start playing you stories. Let's listen.
Bentley's Forever Home by Annette Bentley Smith, narrated by Regina Williams. Hi, my name is Bentley. I'm a male Siberian Husky dog. I'm a rescue helper right now. But my story didn't start out that way. You see, I was an abandoned stray. I guess my previous owner didn't want me anymore. One day, they took me out for a long ride on a long road which never seemed to end. Then they just left me there. I found this big box lying around on the side of the road and turned it into my home. I used to be this bouncy, energetic, happy, friendly, fluffy, pure white dog with gentle blue eyes. But after living life on the streets, I became a shy, timid, and scared puppy. I lost all of my hair and got very sick. It was so hard to find food even. After what seemed like such a long time on the streets, a human came along. I saw her from a distance. A lot of questions went around my mind. Should I stay? Should I run? Is she here to hurt me? The human got out of her car and knelt down. She had something in her hands. There was a faint smell of food coming from it. I stood my distance, and she stood hers. Come on, she whispered softly. It's okay. I won't hurt you. Come on, she urged again. I took a few steps toward her, then ran in another direction and hid in some bushes. I peeked from my hiding spot and watched her leave. This went on for days. Each time she came, she would try and give me food. Eventually, I began to trust her a little. She used to sit on the ground with food in her hand. It smelled so good. Later, I learned it was chicken nuggets. I approached her slowly as she talked to me softly. Come on, boy. Are you hungry? You're so handsome. Come eat. I have chicken nuggets. Can I touch you? She asked as I stretched to take the food from her hand without getting too close. She had a slip rope and a dog leash in the other hand. She tried putting it on me, but I ran. The next time she came, she sat down again with chicken nuggets.
Let's
They
hear
became my
another
favorite.
story.
I have McDonald's. Braces and Smiles for Mei Lee and Her Monkey Buddies by Annette Bentley Smith, narrated by Regina Williams. Mei Lee lives in Thailand with her 3 monkeys, Lu, Jaco, and Coco. She is 8 years old. Her human-like buddies have been with her since she was 5 years old. They know what she likes and dislikes. They know when she is happy, sad, or mad. One sunny day, Mei Lee came home from school crying. When she got off the school bus, she threw her face mask to the ground. She had to wear it to avoid spreading germs in her school. Instead of going in the house for snacks, she walked around to the backyard of her house, where her long-tailed, diaper-wearing monkey buddies often played. One side of her backyard was made specifically for Mei Lee and the monkeys. The other side was just for her parents. On this particular day, Mei Lee wasn't in a playing mood. Coco sensed it first as he watched her get off the bus. "Hey, guys," Coco called out. "Come look at Mei Lee." The monkeys ran outside, just in time to see a tear roll down Mei Lee's pretty brown-skinned face as she walked to the back of the house. "What do you make of it?" asked Lou. "I don't know," responded Jaco. "Me neither," shouted Coco as he ran back in the house to the back door. Lou and Jaco followed him. Coco opened the back door and all three tumbled out. They didn't like to see Mei Lee crying. Jaco made it to Mei Lee first. He pulled at her shirt tail. Then Lou and Coco tugged at both her hands. She looked at them, tried to smile, but gently pulled away from them and went to sit in her gigantic playhouse. She picked up one of her dolls and just stared at it. "Perfect teeth," she muttered through a puddle of tears. Mei Lee's monkey buddies sat beside her and stared at her doll too. Then Lou asked, "What's wrong, Mei Lee? We don't like when you're sad." Mei Lee smiled, but she quickly covered her mouth. "Why did you do that?" asked Lou. "We want to see you smile, not cry." "Yeah," Jaco and Coco said at the same time. Mei Lee stood up and walked toward the monkey's play gym. She took her doll with her. She leaned against the monkey bars and cried even more. Then Sam and Mel, A Horse Story by Annette Bentley Smith. Narrated by Regina Williams. It was an ordinary day for Sam the horse. He was brushed and groomed so children could ride. His back was strong, so he didn't mind, of course, because for children he had a special stride. Sam was unique and extra kind. He could sense the feelings of kids. Some of them were good, but a few of them whined. A few tried to pull his tail, which was something the owner forbids. Sam had big, beautiful hazel eyes. All horses generally do. His mane flew in the breeze as he glided through the grass covered by the morning dew. He had a caretaker who groomed him well. Over the years, they formed a special relationship. Sam responded to his gentle commands and never rebelled. The man was always kind and never ever used a horsewhip. Sam's caretaker had a little child named Mel. The girl often came to the barn to see him. Sam knew who it was by her hat and sweet, flowery smell. He loved resting his head on her hat brim. One cold day, Mel went to visit Sam at morning's first blush. She wore her favorite pink coat. She noticed Sam had a special pink finishing brush for his face, ears, and under his throat. Sam loved Mel's attention so much that he even let her braid his tail. And Mel loved and adored Sam so much. "If anyone hurts you, I'll get him," she yelled. Sam neighed and nodded his head. He picked up on how Mel felt. "I'm so happy you will," Sam said. Suddenly, Mel froze as she tightened the horse's saddle belt. "Did I just hear you speak?" "You sure did," he said. Mel smiled and rubbed Sam's cheeks. He neighed again and rested his face on Mel's head. The Miserable Life of Tack, the Aluminum Can, by Annette Bentley Smith. Narrated by Regina Williams. While Dr. Sykes sat and waited for his next patient, Tack realized it was time to have a little therapy session himself. "Dr. Syke," Tack called out. Dr. Syke looked around the office, but didn't see anyone. "Down here." Dr. Syke looked at the aluminum can sitting on his desk. "My name is Tack." Dr. Syke jumped up and locked the door. It just wouldn't look right for a psychologist to be talking to a can. "What's the problem, Tack?" "My life," he sobbed. "Tell me about it," he suggested. Tex shivered at the thought of having to recall his past. He gazed longingly out the window. Well, it all started when I was born from Mama Bauxite. I was formed, molded, shaped, filled with liquid, and stored on a shelf in the refrigerator at a store. I sat between my two awesome best friends, Max P. and Fanta. One day a small, scrawny little boy bolted into the store, yanked open the refrigerator, snatched me off the shelf, shook up my contents inside, and slammed me down on the counter. He shook me so hard, I felt as if I was going to blow, right then and there. I actually had a dent on my bottom from being slammed down so hard. Suddenly, I was put inside a hot, stuffy plastic bag and then stored inside a cooler filled with chilling ice. After what seemed like hours, the little boy takes me out, thumps me several times, and pops my lid. That gave me a migraine for sure. Go on, Dr. Psych advised, sounding unsure for fear of being caught. The boy guzzled down the contents I had inside of me. I felt so empty inside, Doc. Then, all of a sudden, I was slammed to the ground. He jumped up and down on my fragile body so hard until I was flattened. I thought that was it. Then that child scoops me off the ground and throws me in the Chattahoochee River, where mastitis set in. Dr. Psych laughed uncontrollably. You mean arthritis, don't you, Tack? No, he exclaimed. Rust set in and around my body.
Naira's Bully by Annette Bentley Smith. Illustrations by Chris Dudley. Visual contribution and formatting by ACMD. Narrated by Adriana Pedersen. Naira sat up in bed. She stared out the window and watched the sun play hide and seek. In and out it went, between the clouds as it rose. She sat with her tiny chin cupped in her hands, her bony elbows dug into the top of her tiny legs. Today was the first day of first grade. Naira wasn't too worried. She knew many of her kindergarten classmates would be in her first grade class. Suddenly, her thoughts were interrupted by her mother calling her name. Naira, it's time to get up. I'm up, Mama, yelled Naira. She had a unique imagination. She tried to make out the different shapes the clouds formed. She thought one of the clouds looked like a city. I'm going to name it Cloudville, Naira said to herself. Immediately, she realized she had not gotten dressed. Her clothes were lying on the chair next to her bed. She had put them all together the night before, after she took a bath. She and her family had gone shopping for school clothes, supplies, and backpacks the week before, like they loved to do every year. The only thing left to do was eat, brush her teeth, and get dressed. Her hair had already been braided and hung to her shoulders with multicolored beads. Naira realized she wanted to be the first one in the bathroom and raced down the hallway. But her brother and sisters were already downstairs eating breakfast. She had spent too much time daydreaming and watching the clouds play hide and seek in Cloudville, so she quickly finished what she needed to do. Afterward, she jumped down the stairs 2 steps at a time and made her way to the kitchen. Hurry, my little sugar cubes, her mama said winningly. That was her pet name for the kids. The bus will be here soon, she reminded them. Naira sat down and managed to eat a few bites of cereal and strawberry toast, and drink a glass of orange juice. She heard the sound of the bus from a distance. She, along with her brother and sisters, raced upstairs, grabbed their backpacks, and ran to the bus stop, just in time to see it barreling down the road. Suddenly, a girl who looked about 6 years older than Naira darted across the street and jumped in front of her big sister, Rain. Naira frowned, but didn't say anything. The girl was new in the neighborhood. She had moved in over the summer, and the kids never saw her until now. Naira wanted to know who she was. She tapped her on the shoulder and politely asked, "What's your name?" "Puddin' the girl responded smartly. "Ask me again and I'll tell you the same." She stuck her tongue out and laughed.
Now this is soothing music. Did you enjoy that? I certainly hope you did. If you would like to have Kobe as your friend, read you stories, play music, and play your own personal stories, songs, and messages, please go to www.mrsanniebooks.com to order.